we're going to practice comparing these large numbers. To do this, we start at the left of our column, and the first column that has digits in it is the 10 billions place. So we're going to start with this column on the far left to compare each digit until we find a pair of digits that are different. So in the tens billions place, both those threes are the same. So that's not going to help me decide which number is bigger or smaller. So I go to the right and I see that both digits in the 1 billions place are also the same. They're both 8. So finally I move to the 100 millions place and I see that there's a 7 and a 5. This tells me that this place value is the one that's going to determine which number is bigger or smaller. It doesn't matter what any of these numbers say, just the two digits in the hundreds millions place will tell me which number is bigger. So the 7 is larger, so I know that this first number is the larger number, and the second number is the smaller number. So I'm going to rewrite this using my greater than and less than symbols. So I'm going to have 38,752,491,050. And I said that that is greater than, so I'm going to draw my greater than symbol. The greater distance is next to the large number, and the small distance between these two lines, or no distance at all, is pointing to the smaller number. So my smaller number is 38,554,092,175. So I've compared, using this place value chart, these two large numbers by starting at the left and moving to the right until I find two digits in the same place value that are different. There's another way to compare numbers besides using a place value chart, and that is to use a number line. So we're going to place these two numbers on our number line to figure out which one is larger. So on my number line, I start with 30 billion. In the middle is 35 billion, and on the far right is 40 billion. So I'm going to realize that each two marks on my number line represent 1 billion. That means that this is 36 billion, 37 billion, 38 billion, 39 billion. So my number, 38,750,400,000, will be between 38 and 39 billion, and it'll go right about here. So I'm going to rewrite that number so I know what that place is marking. Okay, and now my other number is 34,550,000,000. So I know that this is 34 billion, 33, 32, 31 billion, and that 34 billion is going to be 550 million is between 34 and 35 billion. And it's almost right in the middle. It's about right here. So I'm going to also rewrite this number so it is marked clearly on my number line. Now in our number line, we remember that as the numbers move to the right, they become greater than the numbers on the left. So since 38 billion is to the right of 34 billion, I know that 38,750,400,000 is greater than 34,550,000,000. So that's how I can use a number line to help me determine which number is larger or smaller. So that's how we do it with two numbers. But what if we have more than two and we need to put them in order from least to greatest or greatest to least? One way to do that is first we're going to start by rewriting all three of these numbers so that each digit lines up with the digit in the same place value. So my first number, 1,234,732,000. My second number also starts in the billions place, and I can use the commas to help me see that these numbers are lined up one on top of each other, with each column being a separate place value, almost as if it was written in a place value chart. So I'm going to write all three of my numbers stacked in this way so it's easier for me to compare each number. So just as I did when I had two numbers to compare, I'm going to start on the far left, and I'm going to compare those digits. And what do you know? They all are 1. So I know there's no difference yet. So now I have to move to the next column to the right and compare these digits. And I see that there's a 2, a 2, and a 3. That means that since the 3 is bigger than the 2's, this is the largest number in our group. So I'm going to put a 1. To me, that represents largest, or the first number. Okay? So next, I'm going to keep moving right because I still have to decide which of these two numbers comes second in order and which is the smallest in the order. So now I'm going to move to the 10 millions place. And I'm going to see that these two digits are different. And I know that 7 is bigger than 3. So I know that this middle number is the second largest number. And I don't have to worry about this 4 anymore because this number has already been put in order. I don't need to worry about it now that it's in the place as the largest. And that tells me that this final number is the smallest of my three numbers. Now that I have compared all of them, I'm going to rewrite these three numbers using my greater than, less than, or equal to symbols to put them in order from least to greatest as the instructions ask. So my smallest number is the one that has the number 3. So I'm going to start by writing this number down. Now this number is smaller than the number 2. So I'm going to put my less than symbol because I'm reading from left to right, and this one is less than, so I need the less than symbol before I write my next number. And finally, I know that both of the numbers already written are smaller than the third number, so I'm going to put another less than symbol and write my final number to the far right. And there I have put my three numbers in order from least to greatest using two less than symbols. Here's another problem where I need to put these numbers in order, again from least to as my problem asks. So first I'm going to rewrite these three numbers on top of each other, lining them up as if they were in an invisible place value chart. So I have 4,599. And this comma is also going to help me line them up if I don't have a place value chart to use. Now my next number is 358. There's no digit in the thousands place, so I'm going to line up the 3 in the hundreds column, then the 5 and the 8 so that it matches with the previous number. My third number is 35,900. Now I might use commas to help me line this up again. And I have the 35,000 in the thousands period and then 900 in the units period. And you'll notice that I have lined these numbers up so that all of them line up straight from the right side and then continue to the left, but this is uneven. You'll see that there are not all even on the left-hand side. So one thing that I can do to help me is I can put zeros in the places where there is no digit to help me remember which column each number lines up in. Now I'm going to do the same process as I did in the previous problem to compare these numbers and put them in order from least to greatest. So I start on the far left and I look at the far left-hand column and I notice there's only one of these three numbers that has a digit in that place greater than 0. So I'm going to know that this is my largest number. It's the only one that has a digit in that place value. And now I don't need to compare that any further as I move. So next I will take a look at the thousands place. And again, I only have one number that has a digit in the thousands place. So I know this is going to be my next largest number. And then I can disregard that moving forward and see that my smallest number is the number in the middle because it only has 3 digits and does not move into the thousands period of our place value. So now I'm going to rewrite these three numbers as I did before using my greater than, less than, or equal to symbols from least to greatest as my problem asks. So my number 3 is my smallest number. That is the least value, 358. I'm going to use a less than symbol, and then I'm going to write the second number in order, which is 4,599. I'm going to use another less than symbol, and then I'm going to write my largest number, or the greatest number, which is 35,900. A shortcut you can use when comparing numbers is you can just look and count the number of digits that are in that specific number. So if I'm looking at this top number, I see that there are 4 digits. Oh, that's hard to see. I see that there are 4 digits in that first number. I see that there are 3 digits in the second number. And I see that there are 5 digits. We do count these zeros because it does change the value of that number. There are 5 digits in this number. And I can look and see that the more digits I have, the greater the value. If there's only 3 digits, that's my smallest number. 4 digits is in the middle, and a number with 5 digits is going to be the greatest or the largest.